Good morning. Actually, I never wake up in the morning. I think right now it's like 12:30 or 12:40, and I'm sure you can tell I just woke up from my face. My face is swollen. I'm in my kitchen right now. There is nothing to eat. There is no food in the house. I have some ram meat in my refrigerator and some peppers and all of that. I'm going to be making buka stew right now. But when I came into the kitchen, I saw this plantain. This plantain is going away. I'm not going to let this plantain go away. So I'm going to make plantain bread later after making the buka stew. I'm going to use these plantains for plantain bread. There's this, I just got this mini loaf pans, and I've been waiting to try making bread with this because I just want to see how cute and small they're going to be when they come out of the pan. So I'm going to be making plantain bread with this mini loaf pan. That's it for today. Buka stew and plantain loaves, mini plantain bread loaf. I really would have liked to make a proper recipe video for those plantain mini loaf, but I'm too lazy to do that. You're just going to have to work with me the regular cooking way. All right, let's get cooking. The ram meat, I'm currently defrosting it. For the pepper mix I'll be using for the stew, it contains tomato, tatashe, rodo. I'll be adding some onions to it too. Some people also add green bell peppers. Really nice. The meat is washed. I'll just season it with salt, some seasoning cube, and some more onions. Just cover it and let it cook. While the meat cooks, we'll just attend to the peppers, wash them, and I like to roast my peppers whenever I'm making stew or jollof. I like to roast my peppers. It gives it a very nice and smoky flavor. So when roasting your peppers, you can just add small salt and drizzle a bit of oil over the peppers and transfer into your oven. While the peppers are in the oven, I'm going to start on the plantain bread. Wash and take the skin off the plantains and cut in small bits. I weighed the plantain because I wanted to determine the right measurement for the other ingredients based on the weight of the plantain. Mash or blend your plantain. For the flour, I used 285 gram of flour. All measurement will be in the description box. 285 gram of flour, 150 gram of granulated sugar. I combine the flour and sugar. So all dry ingredients are going to be combined in one bowl, and all wet ingredients are going to be combined in another bowl. This is salted butter. You can use unsalted butter. 117 gram. You're going to melt that and set it aside. The pepper is ready, so I'm just going to transfer this into my blender. I added powdered garlic because I do not have fresh garlic, and I added the meat stock, and I just blended this into a fine paste. I also transferred the meat into an oven tray, the one I used earlier. Transferred it into the oven because I didn't want to fry it, so I just roasted it in the oven and went back to my plantain bread. I added some baking powder. I added some ground cinnamon. This is optional if you do not like cinnamon, and just set this aside. And to the mashed plantains, I added 3 eggs. I also added some vanilla extract. I was also supposed to add milk, but I forgot. I added the milk at the end of the mixing process, but the milk should have been added at this point. I added in the melted butter and give this a very good mix. We are going to add in the dry ingredients in 2 batches. Add in and fold, mix and fold. It was at this point I remembered the milk, so I added it in and folded it into the batter. Just as I finished mixing the batter, the meat in the oven was done. I covered the batter and refrigerated it for later use. So to make the buka stew, you need to combine vegetable oil and palm oil and then add in the pepper mix. We all know how angry stew can get with splashes and splatters everywhere. So I covered it and let it cook for a while. The peppers are no longer raw since they were roasted, so I just wanted to cover it for a bit, let it cook down before I go back to it. So I went back to my plantain bread, prepped my pan, added the butter into the pan and transferred to the oven to bake. Back to the buka stew. A lot has happened here. I added crayfish. I actually turned off the heat. Yeah, I turned off the heat so I could do my thing. I added crayfish, I added salt, I added seasoning cube, and I added in the meat. Just stir this together. Turn the heat back on so it could cook more, and then just cover it. Left it alone for a few minutes and it's ready to serve. Now the plantain bread is ready, guys. One mistake I made, I forgot to switch the oven settings to bake. After grilling the meat, before popping the plantain bread in the oven, I forgot to switch it to bake. So some of my plantain got burnt, but not to worry. It is still very yummy and very fluffy. I just had to cut the top off. As you can see, very fluffy and very soft. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.